Onchain Ca H. Onchain Ca H. Onchain Ca H.
Onchain Ca H.
Onchain Ca H. Onchain Ca H.
Onchain Ca H.
Onchain.
Hello, here Aniceto. Welcome to another episode of Onchain Ca H, episode number 9, here from the FRAX Force. And today we have another episode full of news. We will continue our structure of different sections. I am not here alone today. I'm also with our captain. How are you doing today, my captain?
GM, how's it going?
Everything good. Looks like DJs are not looking at the crypto charts today.
No, really, SpaceX is stealing the show.
Yes, SpaceX is taking over the show, but we can talk about it also. And it's so fun, like watching these valuations. But yeah, let's just get started first with our first sections about metrics. Let's get into it first. Let's have a look into DeFi Llama. In this case, we are watching here the volume in the different blockchains. And yeah, so far we can watch here volume. The biggest blockchain regarding the volume is Solana blockchain. In 24 hours, getting a volume of 1.6 billion. And second position is Base, reaching almost 1 billion of volume in 24 hours. Ethereum is in the position number 3 with 865 million. We have Binance Smart Chain on 4th position, almost 800 million volume in 24 hours.
I don't know why. Pretty surprising, to be honest.
Hyperliquid come the next one, Polygon, Arbitrum. So yeah, for me, I mean, I was expecting maybe a bit more volume in Ethereum blockchain, even though we saw last week Ethereum is the blockchain with most of the dollars on the blockchain. We can see here a different story, like the velocity, the amount of trade on exchange that is happening in different blockchains is different as well. We see here Solana and then Base leading in this category of high frequency trading, let's say. That doesn't mean it's a real volume, to be honest. It can be many bots operating on these blockchains because they are faster and cheaper. But yeah, it's an interesting metric to watch.
I think I have an opinion on it. I think in base case, Coinbase is funneling a lot of funds through their own, I would say, chain. So maybe that makes the difference, and also operating at 0.00, I don't know, fee. You can set up some scripts and bots and arbitraging, and that's maybe more expensive on Ethereum.
Of course. Yeah, that's one of the thoughts that I have as well. Like, it will be cheaper to run bots on Solana and do this volume. But yeah, it's some of these fees are real. These transactions are happening. They are spending the gas token to pay for the fees and all that. So yeah, it's just an interesting metric to watch. Also, if you are a yield farmer, that's one of the metrics you should be watching is in what blockchain the volume is happening. and then that's interesting because you can take some of the fees going through the pools. Let's go to the news of today. This is the chart all DGens and all people is watching. We just have the IPO from SPCX, the biggest one in history. And so far the price is behaving, right now it looks like $173 per share. And I don't know, more than 2 trillion valuation is just crazy how this happens. And SpaceX is one of the first one. We know later is coming Anthropic, OpenAI. So I don't know if it's gonna be enough gas for all these IPOs that are gonna happen.
Clearly
But,
not.
So far, this is a huge valuation for a new company launched in the public stock exchange.
Look, I know we are not in the FUD section, but I want to give my opinion on that. Look, I talked to, or I wrote with some guy who was really successful the last bull run. So he exited literally at the top, maybe slightly under that, but doesn't matter. He really played a good bull run. Then he allocated a couple of this stake to a private funding round from SpaceX through a private fund. The funny part is this is not the only one. I already heard more stories about that, also public stories. They can't sell their share for the right price currently, which is traded. And also there's a locking mechanism. And after hearing that, I thought about our tokenomic models, raising funds, locked periods, vesting schedules, and stuff like that. And I realized, man, it's a high float, I don't know, play. They crime pump it to whatever valuation because nobody can exit currently. And yeah, it's not different than our stuff we do in our space. So it was an eye opener for me today. Or yesterday. It happened yesterday.
Yeah, I don't know. It is a lot of demand for this IPO as well. So
It's crazy.
it was
It's crazy.
a lot
I
of.
mean, Fidelity lowered their threshold amount, I think, from 50K to 5K or 2K. I mean, every retailer could participate.
Yes, and it was a lot of oversubscription. So let's say if you participate in the IPO with, I don't know, $100, because this subscription, it will not purchase your $100 in share, maybe only a few dollars. I don't know how many, but that means the demand for it was crazy. And now in the open market is behaving crazy as well. We see some initial drops, now it's pumping or whatever happens to it. But this is a huge company right now. We can congratulate Elon Musk. He's the first trillionaire in the world.
True.
But good luck with your exit liquidity.
Yeah, true. Be aware that this is a risky play here. No financial advice, but it's really crazy hype and interest going on. So yeah, let's see.
Let's watch to the Bitcoin chart as well, zooming out a little bit, clearing the noise. And we see at the end, the 4 years cycle, it played very well and is fitting a previous 4 year cycle so far. And what is showing us here in this chart is usual bear period will take around 11 months. And we are only 7 months of downtrend here. So it is potentially taking several more months, 3-4 months of this downside pressure. Of course, this is speculative. It's just following the previous cycles, and the past cannot guarantee what's happening right now. But this is how it looks if we look to the previous cycles. Also, watching here the MACD crossing with the I don't know what is the other metric in here. Sorry, but yeah, it's like
I'm not sure. It's too small, but doesn't matter much. It's pretty much rhymes.
Yeah, it's like it's measuring the moment that the cross happening in the first time. So it's taking this like a temporary, and then after the price a bottom is the last candle. So yeah, it can be a potential several months of downside here. Who knows? It's possible.
Maybe not.
Yes,
maybe not.
maybe not. Maybe not. We don't know. Not financial advice, but yes, it's just having a zoom out on the Bitcoin chart. It doesn't look that terrible from here. Also, we are in this big area of 60K where it serves as top, and also it creates a lot of price action in the past. So let's see how it reacts. Let's go to another chart that is interesting. It's about the crypto asset adoption in the different countries. And let's have a look into it. This is based on Chainalysis Geography of Crypto report on last year. And we have India in number 1, United States on number 2. That is surprising to me. I was expecting I don't know, other countries to be on the top. Then we have countries like Pakistan, Vietnam, Brazil, Nigeria, Indonesia. Okay, that's fair. I was expecting this kind of emerging countries in this list. Also countries with high inflation in their national currencies. Yeah, it's just some way to see a potential market where people are actually using crypto already. Not because they are giga brains and they are experts using technology, but in some cases it's because this is a better money for them. And of course, I think most of the usage of this is coming from stablecoins. This is not, it's just a speculation, but this is a mix of everything, all crypto activity related.
Yeah, it's an interesting metric.
Yes, so it's related as well with this metric we are watching right now is the non-USD stablecoins that just hit 2 billion supply.
So small.
Too small for stablecoins if we compare to the US dollar stablecoins. And this is why the growth in percentage is so high. In 2026, in half year, 43% growth. Many of this growth is coming with Euro stablecoins. Also, the Brazil stablecoin behaving very well. Just interesting. And this is a market that have a lot of growth potential as well.
Funny thing is, in crypto currently, we have not one cool narrative to drive adoption and liquidity and flows and being the new rails for finance. We have a couple. Non-USD stablecoins open the door for FX trading, and I think that alone would have sparked a bull run 5, 6, 7 years ago. And then we have the inevitable connection between AI and crypto. It's inevitable at this point. So, and this is also something you can rally on. So it's interesting. There are so many catalysts, potential catalysts. Yeah, so let's wait.
Of course, let's wait. And also, we will see most of this news about agentic payments, AI intersection with blockchain, because, you know, AI is taking over everything. So we will see more of this news for sure coming in the show. And this chart is like exponential, is what every one of us want to see in a chart. This exponential growth is coming from on-chain crypto card payments volume. Of course, it was a sector that it was nothing 2 years ago or 1 year ago. It was almost inexistent. But right now it's taking some traction and showing volume. And people are spending in these cards their stable coins. Every time it's more easy to do that. The onboarding experience gets better. And yeah, I get it. Most of these users are crypto people so far. I don't think many of the normies already realize that if they spend their money with EtherFi card or stuff like that, they get the cashback and it's better solution for them. But yeah, so I think most of this activity is already from crypto people using them. What do you think?
Yeah, I have a question, to be honest. It needs to be crypto native people. I don't think it's normie. So you still need to have crypto somewhere to open account on a SEX or taking part of DeFi activities to have some funds on these cards. Why should someone purchase only to use a crypto card when he is already on a bank account or something? It makes no sense for me. And that's why I asked the question to you. Do you think crypto cards are the final step in payment as a payment tool? Because are we doing that here? I still think this card is just not so that they are not replaced tomorrow. Basically, these card issuers and big payment providers. Do you think cards are what we will use in 5 to 10 years? 5 to 10 years, maybe?
Well, I see the two big companies used in crypto in cards. Like all the merchants accept credit debit cards right now. The two companies that have this control is Visa and MasterCard. Everybody knows that. So if you want to have right now adoption of people using stable coins in the card, that's the way to go. But I don't think that will be successful for the coming in the next 5 years, for example. I think we will find more creative solutions. We don't need a company in the middle taking these fees for.
Yeah, right. You can
card.
just send
Yes.
from wallet to wallet, use stable coins. And then the merchant can have an off ramp, like a FRAXnet account, for example, to pay taxes with fiat money or something like that. I don't get it, to be honest. Maybe it's something, I'm not an expert in payment stuff, and maybe there's a law who prohibits using just a wallet with your key, basically, and there is a QR code send USDC, send frxUSD, and you're done, and you pay nothing. He pays nothing, we pay nothing. That's why I don't get it, to be honest.
Yeah, what I see as a problem here is like the habits of people paying is very sticky. Like they have already these network effects, like everybody accepts Visa, MasterCard. So that's the easy way to go. But I believe we will be able to fight these big companies and find some kind of solutions that are better for the merchant, better for the customer paying, and everybody will be happy, like a win-win solution. Like
yeah, they're fighting with their mode. They currently they're fighting with their mode, their customer mode, this big customer base. With that's a weapon against the inevitable replacement, basically. In my opinion, it's just my opinion, but
yeah, that's right. It's gonna be very difficult to just take out of the equation these card companies. It's gonna take some time. Also, they are adapting quickly. Of course, we see in this show many of the news are talking about MasterCard and Visa adopting stablecoin solutions. So let's see how it plays out. Maybe their own Visa and MasterCards, they disrupt themselves in some form, or they just give out the fees they are charging already and went down a lot. We don't know how it's going to look the future. But yes, of course, it's going to be very interesting to watch how the payment sector is evolving, especially after we start to see the real legislations of Genius Act
I
come
have
into
the
place.
feeling, yeah, I have the feeling with the Clarity Act add to the stablecoin yield question, it could potentially be the catalyst to replace cards, because everything pretty much moves on chain for this yields or this moving capital, which then is allowed to generate yield and the T-bill yield and distribute to your customers or users. So this pretty much forces everyone to use DeFi rails, and then the way to smart wallets and DeFi native, or I would say Web3 native solutions is not far away. So I still think they will get replaced, and it's a big wow effect when it happens.
Yes, you are totally right there. Having like this DeFi native solution already prepared, like, okay, like the passive yield is not allowed, so you need to use it in some form. And that's what FRAX is doing already with most of the DeFi protocols, the biggest ones like Aave, Curve, and all that. You make sure you get paid if you deposit on the biggest DeFi protocols out there. So let's see how this Clarity Act passes and how Genius Act gets implemented. And yeah, we will be here to watch it and very bullish for this future, even if the prices are very low right now for all DeFi projects. As we say, DeFi will win. Let's go
Yes.
to the next section. We finished with the metrics, so let's get started with some of the news that happens in the crypto world. Okay, so we have in the first, we have the Morpho Association that has raised 175 million to build the open credit network for the world. So we can see here the investment come from very reputable brands here in the space, venture capitals. We can mention some of them, A16Z, Paradigm, Circle Ventures, Apollo, Botanix, Ledger. So big players here putting some money into the table for Morpho. Of course, that didn't come without controversy. Like, okay, so how the token holders benefit from this? There is some distribution to the token holders. Of course, that didn't happen. But yeah, this is resources coming to Morpho to keep developing. I don't know, big partnerships we can see here, like they have partners to deploy capital, of course, a part of investing the money into the project. So very interesting news here, and big win for DeFi in general.
Yes, I agree on most of it. What I think, or what makes me a bit, what makes me a bit nervous is Morpho is currently, from my perspective, when it comes to the token, not the project itself and the business, it's a great one. Congratulations to the raise. It's big and it's a good marketing and promotion for DeFi and Web3 overall in this current times. So, and the partners are top tier, but talk is cheap, and if you say one token for, basically they say there's one token, every value will be accrued to that and direct to that, and then you sell your token OTC to an entity without, I think, proper voting. Why not buying an open on the open market these token allocations and giving a signal to the basically to the token or the value accrual mechanic of the token, and they didn't do that. That's why I say talk is cheap. You can talk, but actions matter. And if you don't show up on chain, what you're doing, it's basically just talk. And let's see. But Morpho will be a big winner in the next years. It's pretty inevitable if there is no big hack because of Mythos or Fable or whatever. But it's basically one of our running horses, and I think it's we need to support as DeFi people, no matter what project you rally behind. It's important that we support our running horses, and Morpho is one of them.
Yeah, totally agree here. And yeah, this is a bit of controversy, like you told, why we have a token. So if you want to own part of Morpho, just buy it in the open market instead of going for a round of investment like this is. Yeah, that's some controversy that happens in crypto.
I'm not
but
sure. I'm not really sure if they need the money, to be honest. Sure, integration fees and audits and stuff like that. But if you if you are one of these protocols, I think there are other ways to solve that. But I'm not in this situation like the Morpho team, and it's just talking from my little position here, and they are in the big league already. So yeah, I don't have a good opinion on that without proper insight. So kudos to them. It's big race. Nobody can raise 175 million currently without a real business and also real numbers behind it. So congrats.
That's correct. Yes, very good for DeFi in general. Then one of the news we shared last week was about MoonPay agentic payments, and I think we are going to see this kind of news happening more often. In this case, MasterCard here is bringing this announcement that is a consortium, let's say, of agents payments for machines. So we can see more than 30 different partners that brings this to life. I don't know, big names like Polygon, Rain, Aave, Solana, Stripe, Tempo, big players of the crypto space that are working together. Let's see. I believe that can be a standard. That's also good. It's too early right now for agentic payment solutions with credit cards. So yeah, it's good to have the biggest players getting together to build like these new standards that need to be happening. Also, very important, we are talking about payments, that they are a secure solution. So yeah, I think nobody have the chance to try this, but yeah, we will see how this plays out, because we see the narrative about AI agents is getting stronger and stronger. Even more people trying and discovering how powerful these tools can be. And yeah, let's see how this sector will evolve. But many people already are watching and saying that most of the volume in blockchains will happen through agents. So yeah, that's right. At the end, we want the agents to do everything for us. Just go and purchase some stuff in the internet. For us, it's another use case where we can use these agents. And of course, if we have a big consortium of companies and it's safest and one standard, that will be also helpful for everybody.
Yes. I think the big difference will happen when agents need to buy inference or credits, and this will happen through wallet to wallets. And I think when this happens, this gets traction. Also, robotic space. If you have a bot talking, I'm doing some tasks, and he runs out of power, like out of inference credits, whatever. He needs to pay again, and then he needs to use crypto rails. So I think they built for that future, and then the needle will move. But for now, I think it's just, yeah, narrative, building the narrative, and later it gets real.
Yes, so far very experimental so far, but we know all these big names are already building. We already mentioned some of the standards for agent-to-agent payments. So people are investing money to build the proper solutions in these technologies. Big names out there. Then we have our favorite senator, Cynthia Lummis, getting bullish and telling that, again, this Bitcoin reserve that was supposed to be built for US government is telling that is the most asymmetric bet the US Treasury could make. The downside is manageable and the upside is generational. So bullish Cynthia Lummis here. So I just nice to have these tweets from people from the government. So excited.
Please buy my bags.
Nothing else to comment here. Thank you, Cynthia, for your work. Then we have coming from Cure Finance are introducing Yamalend version 2. A quick reminder of Yamalend is the borrow and lending solution built in Cure Finance, and they have a mechanic that is the soft liquidation, that where price, it doesn't get liquidated in one specific price. You have a range of price where the liquidation is doing gradually. So this is why it's called soft liquidation. So this mechanics is still the core of the Yamalend version 2, but the big difference is you can use other assets to borrow. In version 1, it was only a CRWQ. You can borrow in Yamalend V2 other assets that gets approved by governance. And also a big, huge change is you can use the CRLP's tokens as collateral and then borrow other assets against your LPs. That's very similar to Tangent that we comment in previous episode. Also, these markets will be isolated markets. So if something wrong happens in one of these markets, it only affects this market. And yeah, I think they are starting slowly, launching first on Optimism, and then later in the year they come to Ethereum. If you want to read all the article, feel free to dig into it. Also in the FRAX Force, we made some tweets about it. And yeah, I think a cool innovation. These projects just keep delivering new tech and improving what we have and more efficiency in the liquidity. So you can put the LP token that is producing the swap fees and the incentives. You can also get the more efficient liquidity there because you can use the LP to borrow and keep your money working.
Yeah, and from a team with proven track record and security.
Correct. Yeah, of course, they are like, as you remember in Aave before, they are starting with this launch. They are starting small, trying to see if everything works as is intended. And then with time testing, everything can raise the parameters and everything can be deployed in different blockchains. So yeah, it's just the beginning. So let's see how this evolves. We have news from EtherFi. Is one launch here is that we can use different country fiat currencies from different countries to onboard to your money. Okay, so there is more coming soon. You can use currencies from different countries to onboard money into your cards. So that's exciting, and yeah, I think that's interesting, making life easier for people to use these products. And one more new here is about we have these vaults that are built on Plume network, that they are paying very interesting rates, and we have Euro solution 7.46% APY with depositing euros here in EtherFi. That's pretty interesting. And then we have also a real world asset vault paying 7.25. So good earning options here on EtherFi. I don't know if you want to comment anything.
Sure. EtherFi is probably on the forefront of doing this vault tech behind it. And since they are not exploited yet, I think it's one of the most interesting DeFi native new banks, if I can say that. I mean, we threw out the new bank name for everything, and but I think it's most fitting for cards and projects like EtherFi is doing. So it's to be honest, I think I will use it in the future as a main liquidity hub, private liquidity hub, so to say, for purchases in the real world, and also having some yield on it. I think it's genius, and still don't get it why the normie world is not on this. But as you can imagine, the world is burning, and nobody gives a shit about anything currently. So yeah, maybe that's the reason. So yeah, I love it. EtherFi is nice.
Yeah, I think I don't have it yet. I need to get one of these cards as well.
Yeah, at FRAX we have already some people using EtherFi with frxUSD, obviously. So yeah, we have some real world experience already, and can only recommend.
It works, and it pays cashback that is usually better deal than any other card you have with the bank. So it's worth it, to be honest. And let's go ahead. Here we have Deus is good chat here talking about real world assets, and is here talking about the difference between Ethereum and Solana in terms of real world assets. And with some data here is like Ethereum holds over $16 billion in real world assets, and Solana, it holds like less than 20% of that.
Proof to thesis that Ethereum is a main liquidity layer basically, and Solana aims to be the retail liquidity layer. So
correct. So there is a big difference here in the size of the holders in the two blockchains. For Ethereum, if you distribute equally through all the wallets, it will be a size of 80K per wallet, and then in Solana will be only 11K. So yeah, that support this thesis, like Ethereum is more institutional, and then Solana more retail people.
To be honest, it's pretty bullish Solana, because if you think about it, Ethereum, the funds on Ethereum are under threat from these private chains, you know, from Fidelity, BlackRock, whatever. And but retail money is pretty sticky, so it's pretty bullish, to be honest.
Yeah, some interesting thoughts there. Then we have one new from our favorite bot here. Is talking about the situation in Canton. I didn't investigate too much here, so maybe you, Captain, can tell us a little bit what's going on here. Like, it looks like the inflation that is happening on the Canton network is around 21%, and then there is a burn rate that is showing in all these charts about revenue in the blockchain or whatever, that this burn rate is 14% annual burn rate. But yeah, so it's like these metrics are a bit tricky. Yeah, let's say if you are inflating a lot of your tokens.
Yeah, it's
the
no
burn-
FUD.
No fatty.
Yeah, it's no. My opinion is should not be labeled as FUD, but I think it's needed to raise some attention here because people think probably it's a good investment. It is probably a good investment long term. I'm not sure. So, but if you think about that, they treat their token like an emission token and basically printing it and paying for revenue. It's okay in a model like a V model or something where you distribute some real money, real float back to your hodlers. But in this case, you're pretty much like the Fed bank, printing money out of thin air and keeping the show, keep the show, the lights on. So it's a pretty, I think. Two perspectives, the hodler perspective and the business side. I think it's a good business, so no doubt about that. But for a hodler or something like that, and we are community orientated here at FRAX. I think it's not the best idea to participate, basically. But I have not the best insight in this project, but I saw so many threads and articles and serious questions what is going on there, and they had huge revenue numbers, and these revenue numbers are not only also not that real, if I remember right. So just a heads up. Just
yeah, always double check with these metrics that you saw in different websites, because you need to really understand what's going on. And of course, for new projects, it can be a lot of inflation, and that's dangerous as well. It's like all these emissions later came to the market. Just be aware of it. Thina have a big partnership here with Securitize, is the technology, let's say, arm of BlackRock, and they do tokenization. So they partner with Athena here to tokenize AAA and I don't know, this kind of assets that they are going to be backed by Athena stablecoin USD. So yeah, that sounds good. I don't know how big that is, but of course it's very interesting to have all these tokenized real world assets to be your stablecoin to be the settlement instrument for these tokenization platforms.
yes,
So
it's bullish. That's the news we need.
Yeah, that kind of, I think that's big because the size of the tokenized market can be very huge. So yeah, kudos to Athena. Is a decentralized project, emerged like DeFi, all that. So I think that's interesting to see this kind of partnerships, and that can happen also to more players. And yeah, so we finish this section about the news, and let's jump into the next one, your favorite one. Let's start with the food section. We have here the hacks, the rooks, everything that is important. So first one, we have Humanity Protocol, that was some leakage of the secret phrase, and then they have a huge drop in the price. Token craze is more than 80%. I don't know, a lot of drama because this coin was pumping and then they have this incident. I don't know, it's suspicious to some people in city, especially because it will be some release of tokens happening to VCs in the coming months. I don't know. It can be
Yeah,
another
it looks suspicious as
security.
fuck. It looks suspicious. I think everybody can see that. The question is, why does it pump like that? And then you know, in times like that, like we are in, basically nothing gets some buys, and this thing pumps. I don't know how many percent, but it's probably a couple of multiples. So yeah, it's sad this happens in these times. Some people still see potential in extracting money, and in a already down economy. So it's double. He gets a double loser stamp from me. So yeah, I don't know. Bad actors. Nothing to
Yeah,
say
and
about that.
also this damage the rest of the industry as well. So yeah, we
Always,
don't like.
yes. It's always
We are not
contagion.
happy to see things like this happening in our industry. Bad news happening as well. Bear market persists, and some legit projects, Botanix in this case, is saying bye bye. They need to wind down operations, close, stopping the machine here. I don't know. It's sad also to be news
Yeah,
like this.
I read the whole article, or I read the whole post, and yeah, it's. I think they invented a lot, and they had cool tech, but pretty much the customer base, Bitcoiners, OG Bitcoiners, don't want to use their capital basically, and that's the reason why they shut it down. It's more reasons, business reasons and stuff like that. But in the end, the reason why you shut something down is lack of customers, no PMF. And if your customer base or user base or whatever is not interested in in risking their BTC or putting them on risk on a different sidechain or whatever, yeah, then you need to shut down, and that's probably what happened. And if you read between the lines, they pretty much say this.
Yes. So sad to see that, but at the end, you need to build products that people actually use. So if not, this is not sustainable. Very sad, but true.
Yes.
Here we have another drama. Polymarket, we know it is very successful product market fit product, and people betting into things happening. But there is several concerns. We saw already some governments trying to ban using Polymarket or stuff like that. And here we see like Polymarket is blocking VPN users. So that's something. Yeah, I get it. Some countries have restrictions. They cannot use DeFi projects, or I don't know. There are some sanctioned countries and this stuff. But I think I never heard about the projects, the DApp itself blocking VPNs. Like, okay, if there is restriction in your country using a VPN, you just go through it. But in this case, it looks like they are taking more seriously and they are blocking VPNs. Not totally sure if this is is going to happen in the future as well. But this is some of the news that happens during this week.
Yeah, weird. I'm not sure. I think you only do that if you are forced to, right? Because you want the fees,
But
so it's no point to block your users.
very difficult as well to enforce this, because which country is Polymarket? I don't know if they have a legal entity. I don't know. It's complex. It's getting complex if this is a true decentralized project. So yeah, complicated.
Yeah. Never digged into the structure behind Polymarket, to be honest. I see this COO always in American newsletters, but not sure if that means anything in the USA today. I mean,
Yeah.
even CZ is there with a project running from offshore, and but yeah, let's don't get
I
too deep in
mean,
that.
I hope they find another way to gamble their money.
True.
We have another drama, Sahara. Didn't know about this one, but it have a cool AI name into it. So they previously raised $43 million by Binance Labs. I don't know what happens here, but the price fall 60%.
Oh,
So this is not like a natural price action.
Polychain Ca H.
Oh.
Hmm.
So yeah,
And
the token
Binance
contracts.
Labs. Yeah, that's what you want to see if you invest in a token, right?
Yeah, so it was some kind of investigation going on why this happens. They release a tweet that they are aware of unusual market volatility. They are actively monitoring the situation.
Yeah, yeah. Some of the students got the task. Please prompt some post for this stuff. Yeah, I mean, wow. But yeah, I mean, never heard about this project, to be honest, and maybe it's just money laundering. I don't know, man. I mean, it's
Yeah,
pretty
I
weird.
don't know.
43 millions, and then something like this happens. Look, for everyone is now in this chat and it's wondering why can this happen. You always need to ask the question: if you are able to raise 43 millions, how can it happen that your token, I mean, the most important thing to have a good relation to your investors and everything else, and your retailers, and also the branding and everything. So how can this happen? I mean, and it happens often. I mean, for me, we need to ask a question: is that on purpose or not? And if these players are always involved in when these weird things happen, I don't see that in small teams, to be honest. I don't see that in self-funding teams. I don't see that in, I would say, crypto native fundings, like where people who are long in this space participate, for example. I don't see that there. I see that only in this weird stuff you can access through Binance and IPO like launch pads. It's a shame that this happens because we always burn money. 60K, 70K from retailers from different countries. Doesn't need to be much, but this capital in some small cap coins with real builders would make a huge difference in the current days. And yeah, they are still able to attract this big money. I don't know why, and I'm not sure how, but it happens.
Yeah, amen to that. But save some energy. There is also the last FUD one is touching Radium, a big well-known protocol in Solana blockchain. There has been a drain of 1.3 million of crypto. It looks like it was some old pools that they already have, but still some money that is lost by a hacker. And so
A hacker.
sending the ETH to Tornado Cash, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, usual stuff.
Yeah, let's trust me, bro. I'm not sure. I mean, where's the investigation report? How could this happen? I mean, it's pretty, for me, it's interesting to know how a DEX could get an exploit like that. I know it's depreciated pools, legacy pools from their exchange, but how could this happen? I'm not sure. Is there a report? Maybe I need to dig into that before I do some statements here. So I will stop with the FUD now.
We can stop. We didn't read the full postmortem, but
True.
yeah, for sure, that's evidence. Everything can be seen on the blockchain. In this case, FRAX is one account I follow for some time now, and they just, every time that something like this happens, it's like, hey, protocol, you must have a look into this. Like, okay, something bad happens, some hacks, whatever is happening. But yeah, that's enough food for this week. It's very sad that we see some hacks and this kind of news happening every week, but we bring it to you to you are aware of what's going on.
Something most of
So-
the projects labeling as attacks, but it's basically private compromise key stuff. So it's pretty sad, but yeah, we don't know the real truth behind all these things currently, but yeah.
So now is happy time. Welcome Charmander to the section. Let's go into it.
Come on, Charmander. Welcome to the group. Come on, Charmander. Welcome to the group.
Okay, let's welcome Charmander to the technical analysis specialist from the FRAX force. Let's get into it.
Hey guys, happy Friday. Quick market update today. The theme this week is support reached, waiting for buyers confirmation. Starting with Ethereum. Last week, we discussed the major support region around $1,600. This week, Ethereum briefly touched that level and has since been consolidating around it. For now, the market remains weak from a higher time frame perspective, but selling momentum has started to slow as picture approach a major historical support zone. The key question is whether buyers are willing to defend this area. On the FRAX side, the market continues to follow the downside roadmap we have been tracking over the past several weeks. Last Friday, in ONCHAIN CA H, we highlighted 28 cents as the next major support zone if 31 failed to hold. That scenario has now played out. What's interesting now is that we have finally reached the support zone we have been tracking for weeks. The market is no longer accelerating lower. Price has spent the last 5 days consolidating around the 28 cents area. And honestly, that's where things start getting interesting. Because support itself is not a story. The real question is, what happens when price gets there? A week ago, we said the market was searching for support. I don't think that's the case anymore. The market has found support. Now, looking for buyers. That's a very different question. If buyers start showing up around this area, we could begin seeing a base form over the coming weeks. But if demand remains absent, support is just a number on a chart. So for me, the focus right now isn't predicting a bottom. It's watching whether real demand starts appearing around this level. That's what I'll be paying attention to going into next week. We'll keep updating as the structure evolves. Thank you for watching.
Yeah, very nice analysis from Charmander here. I just want to mention the support from Ethereum is still respected, and then he nailed it with this level of 0.28. So yeah, very great. I don't know if you want to mention something from here, Captain.
No, not really. It's pretty. Pretty good analysis, to be honest. And watching for real demand is probably exactly what you need to do now. and just waiting. If you believe in the asset you want to accumulate, I think EDCAing is not that bad if it's a project with revenue and PMF. So because there could be a support forming somewhere in the next months, but yeah, basically it's that what he said. But I added some fundamental stuff to it for the viewers who want to choose an asset which they want to accumulate.
Yeah, we'll leave that for the listeners. But yeah, be careful out there. Market is still very
Choppy.
a lot of
No,
tensions,
choppy and unclear, I would say.
Yeah, but I think we should agree, like we are reaching some levels. Like, yeah, it seems like bottom should be close, and we don't never know which levels will reach. But yeah, it's like there is another like trader advice, like don't catch a falling knife. Okay, if you think this is cheap enough, the knife can keep falling and you cut your hand. So yeah, we never know. So this is why I recommend for some FRAX Force member to do DCA. So you get out all this stress, you keep accumulating slowly every month maybe, and that's, I think, a good way to go. Yeah, let's see some interesting yield farming opportunities right now with the next section. So let's get into it. Okay, so yeah, I don't have here the eyes here. Yeah, we have Bueno Pues post here. Thank you to him that brings this section and is showing us different stable coins that we can be farming. All of them in this case are using frxUSD. We call them peg keepers. And yeah, you can see here, this is a StakeDAO interface where you can get the boosting of rewards that are coming from the curve tokens. And so if you have 2.5, this is the maximum boost you can have in the pool. But basically, you can farm stable coins in an aggregator as a StakeDAO, and better than in Curve itself, because they will use their lock CRV tokens to pay you the boosting of the farms. So at the end, some small advice here: when you are farming stable coins, you don't only look to the APRs that are very juicy here. Of course, if you are using frxUSD, you are pretty safe with this side of the pool, but then you need to investigate the other stable coins you are pairing against. We see EVA USDT, and we have some posts with the FRAX Force member that we were analyzing the risk and where the yield is coming from EVA USDT, from EVA Market.
Yeah, Shamanda did great articles.
Correct. And then you need to analyze the other side of the pool. And also you need to consider what is the TBL on this specific pool. That means if the TBL is low and you enter into the pool, it's possible that you decrease the APR because you are a big proportion of the pool. So you need to consider that. And also you need to consider when you are doing the swaps, what is going to be the slippage. And if there is any big difference when you are trying to swap for the new stablecoin you want to put in the liquidity pool. But so far, that's a good option if you want to be out of volatility and farming with stablecoins. You have here some interesting options. Do your own research on them, and yeah, farm responsibly.
Yes. LP education by
So-
Aniceto.
Yeah, I mean, I cannot spend the whole day explaining about yield farming, but I know many of the people watching already have experience doing that. If not, maybe let us know in the comments. We can go a bit deeper into these mechanics. Let's jump into the next section about FRAX news. Okay, now I get it
I
right.
always get triggered by this sound. I don't know. It remembers me a bit in my past, my childhood. I don't know.
So regarding FRAX announcement for this week, we have quite a lot. We know there is a full article here talking about the big partnership FRAX have with Aave before, and how this yield share mechanic that FRAX is using is getting through the Aave protocol itself. It's a well-written article explaining about how it will work, this spokes architecture. And yeah, just have a look into it. It's very well explained. Take your coffee and read through it. But it's basically explaining how this big partnership will play out in the future. So far, frxUSD is the biggest stablecoin in Aave before, and I hope that will continue in the future when the TBL's growing in Aave before. So yeah, I think it's one of the biggest and the bulliest things that FRAX have right now is this about this big partnership.
I agree. I think we are at 30 million already, and TVL. And this ReserveLink pretty much shows the deep integration or partnership from FRAX and Aave. It's pretty cool.
Let's jump into the next ones. There are several backkeepers pools. In this case, there is one pool, Cure pool that is on Hyperliquid, Hyper EVM with parallel money. So it's the top Cure pool in that blockchain. And yeah, that's interesting to watch. It's not only about Ethereum. There is other blockchains, many of them Cure is deployed, and these mechanics can also work in all different blockchains. Another backkeeper pool that we welcome is about 3Chain. Credit-based money market is now open on public. This is a big pool in Curve as well, the same backkeeper mechanics that we explained in previous weeks, and another one joining the party. Huge.
And counting, yeah.
More coming. Then we have this announcement about Send. Send is like a fintech app, let's say, in the Canton network. So here is a new pool. We have the frxUSD version that is bridged in the Canton blockchain with a pool here with the Canton token. And yeah, it's cool to see the FRAX assets getting live in other blockchains and getting liquidity pools and this stuff. Finally, huge news we saw here is about the Fortune 500. This is like a magazine or media company, let's say, talking about finance, usually involved in TradFi, is now releasing one article about the Fortune Crypto 500. And in the stablecoin section, we have FRAX in the 5th position. we see with biggest names here like Tether, Circle, Sky, Paxos. We have FRAX, we have Athena, Curve. Yeah, pretty good news to be in this kind of TradFi news. To be honest, that means we are doing a good job.
Yes, really nice to see.
And yeah, I think more news. This week we have Sam, the founder of FRAX, also went to the Rollup show, the Rollup podcast, and also we have him on Ethereum conference. And yeah, that was pretty interesting to hear. He dropped some alpha. To be honest, that this is what we are gonna see in our last section of today, the alpha call. Get ready for this alpha, and of course, is in this podcast we talked about the rollup show, and let's listen into it because it's gonna be related with the Genius Act licenses. As many of you know, Sam was involved in DC in the Genius legislation, drafting it, watching how it evolves and everything. Of course, the FRAX team designed frxUSD from the first moment to be Genius compliant. So they are actively working to have the legislation passes, but still none of the protocols have a license. So he's going to be talking about it in this episode, and let's see what he has to say.
On what's happening there with the Genius Act, what is left to get this thing into law?
Yeah, I mean, I think legally speaking, it's technically law. It's just that the OCC and the federal agencies that have been tasked with actually giving guidance and the process to apply for like a Genius license, or I guess technically a payment stablecoin issuance, license, need to go through with all of the comments, rulemaking, final releases of the actual procedures and everything. And I think for short TLDR, I think by Q1 2027, I think it should be open for business, which obviously we're hoping with FRAX, we'll have frxUSD be licensed Genius stablecoin. Now, one thing that I will say is that since it's on default acceptance, right, the way that it's going to work is that you apply, and unless there's a very specific response of no for a specific reason, I believe it's 120 days of auto default in compliance.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was the alpha for this week. I think that's pretty much what's the headline here is Sam is telling us that for first quarter of 2027, it will be some licenses for Genius Act, and yeah, that the business can start going. Pretty much.
Party starts.
Yeah, the real party should be started by this time. And he also mentioned like this license, like, is not very hard to get. Well, like if you comply with everything that is in the legislation, they cannot ban you, like telling you cannot get one. If they didn't find anything that you did wrong or something like this, after 120 days, then you are getting the license. If nothing, and they don't need to give you like a specific approval starting with a no. If you comply with all the legislation as it said, you should be able to get one license. So yeah, let's see how it goes. We are still 6 months in the 2026, but yeah, we need to build and get everything ready for this moment. And this is the alpha we get for this week. Pretty much a lot of alpha in this interview, so we will bring some of this alpha through the weeks, and hope you enjoy the episode of today. We are finishing right now. I hope you enjoy. Have a nice Friday, guys. And I leave you the mic, Cap, to say the last words.
Yeah, thank you. I think it's exciting times currently, and talking about all news every week is nice. Next week, Royal will be the speaker, and I will leave the stage for now. I will always join when I have something to say, or want to talk about a specific important topic, or if when it's more community orientated and FRAX Force or special guest or something like that. But I think we need to mature a bit here. Onchain Cash is a real successful format, and I'm really proud that we are doing that and with success. Even though it's not the best times doing community building in when it comes to adding new members and having some excitement and watching charts. The times in the last 6 years was a bit more fun in crypto. So yeah, let's see. I think we're doing a good job here currently, and I hope people can give us some feedback maybe over the next weeks if they want to have some ideas which we can add. But overall, keep an eye on some changes in the next coming weeks and months. We try to boost, or I would say to fine-tune some parts always, and want to be the best show when it comes to DeFi, stablecoins, and news. So sure, we can't compete with Wall-Up or something like that, but give us a chance. So we will fight our way to the top. So that's it.
Yeah,
today.
we will fight. And yeah, I would like to use this comment section to say hello to Rachel. He was commenting there. And
Nice.
yeah, that's the episode of today. And see you every Friday. And that's the end of it. Thank you very much. Just make sure you can go into our Discord. We are out there, going to the FRAX Force, and we have in our bio, we have the link there. So join us. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.